My name is Modie Lavin. I am a senior outreach coordinator at an organization called the Road Home Program. It's the Center for Veterans and Their Families at Rush University Medical Center in Chicago. We treat veterans and family members struggling with mental health, transitioning out of the military, although we do treat active duty as well, particularly those battling PTSD. How I ended up getting here was I am a Gold Star mother. A Gold Star mother is identified as someone that lost a child in the line of duty. So I lost my son, Connor, in Afghanistan in 2012. And it was the most jarring, traumatic experience I had endured in my life. And one would think that with that type of tragedy or trauma, that you would move into, your typical therapy and trying to make yourself feel whole and work with the loss and the grief. I was diagnosed with traumatic grief, which also shows as PTSD. But also in this process, I had met Connor's fellow Marines, and I realized that they were traumatized as well. Not only from what they were doing over in Afghanistan, but also from the loss of one of their close brothers in arms. And this motherly instinct came over, and I kind of organically moved into this space where I really wanted to help these men and women and transitioning out of the military who were struggling. I've had a lot of symptoms myself that started to become alarming, not only to myself, but to other people around me. I was in a deep depression, and my depression showed up in fits of anger and or major isolation. Also, poor habits as far as nutrition and others, and not really wanting to take care of myself like I did prior to. I also was starting to feel very physical ailments as a result. A lot of issues orthopedically, and stomach issues, headaches, and never really attributing those symptoms to my trauma. But overall, I was in a really bad place. And so that's kind of, where I thought I need to take a deeper dive into what's going on with me. And again, as I mentioned earlier, that showed up as trauma, as complicated grief, post-traumatic stress. Okay, so it's been quite a journey, and I continue to make this journey in seeking out ways to improve how I feel. Right after the procedure, of course, I was excited and I wanted to feel something immediate. And within a day or two, I felt kind of very happy and very, thinking, wow, this worked. This could be it. But quite honestly, that lasted maybe a couple weeks, and I just wasn't feeling that same thing in the first couple days. But after some time, I think I need to mention something important, as this just kind of isn't a one and done. It was highly recommended to me to couple this with therapy. So I had re-engaged with therapy, and working through therapy, I noticed that I was very open and feeling much more immediate results in following my therapist's advice, and trying to make myself feel better, to kind of release some of this trauma. And there was a sort of clarity in my decision making through the day, a little more pep in my step. But it took me a couple months to realize, oh my gosh, it was the shot. I feel better. I'm not holding on to this trauma as much as I was. I was feeling much lighter. So it's not a euphoric experience, but it's a definitely change in how I'm going about my day to day. I just don't feel as heavy and I have a lot more clarity. I remember reading about this on social media, but kind of about this shot. And I remember kind of bypassing it, reading about it, going, that's interesting, but there is a lot of stuff out there. I had the opportunity to meet a representative by the name of Val at a couple different events. And I heard testimonials from law enforcement, how much this changed their life. And it made me take time to really speak to the rep Val about this shot and learn more and speak to the others that had received this and how much it changed them. And I thought, you know what? Why not? I think it's important to let people know that this is out here. Things are changing all the time, and we get kind of stuck. Take a pill, do the therapy, do the exercise. But the beauty of today is that people are testing and seeing what other kind of things work. And I think any trauma survivors should really take a deep look at this. It does work. It's easy. It's simple. And I think that we need to get in the mindset there to look at more alternative ways in order to address trauma.